Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there's a few things to talk about. So according to The Sun, and now it's in a few other media outlets, Manchester United are leading the race to sign Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen, and Solsjaker is planning to put around a £50 million bid in for the player. So we are planning a double transfer swoop because, we're also in for Jadon Sancho, and we are allegedly confident that we can get a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, because Jadon Sancho, of course, is our number one priority target in that. So, the news is on Kai Havertz is that I've spoken with you about him before, and, there has been quite a few clubs that have been interested in Kai Havertz. The likes of Bayern Munich have been interested in him. I think also too Chelsea have been interested in him in that. Kai Havertz can play as an attacking midfielder. I think he is predominantly an attacking midfielder. You can also play him as a winger. He can also be deployed in the number 9, and he can also be deployed in the number 10. So his versatility is very, very good, is Kai Havertz. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, I almost forgot to mention Liverpool were interested in him. Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is only the age of 20, so he is very, very young. I think he is 21 next week. Maybe £50 million isn't going to be enough to convince Bayer Leverkusen to offload him. I think Bayer Leverkusen did say if they were to sell Kai Havertz, they'd want maybe 90 or even £100 million for the player. Now, up until this point, Kai Havertz has spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen. I think he was in their youth setup for a good, 6 or 7 years or something like that. And I think he's been in Bayer Leverkusen's senior squad since 2016, is it? And since then, he has become an integral part of their team. Don't forget, Kai Havertz became the youngest debutant in the Bundesliga, and then he became their youngest goal scorer ever. And obviously, he became the youngest player to reach a milestone of 50 and 100 appearances in the German top flight, Kai Havertz. So now reportedly he is on Manchester United's agenda, and we are leading the race for the player. Kai Havertz, I think, has got a contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2022. But there's been a few players on our agenda from the Bundesliga, So reportedly now Man United are leading the race for him. And by the way, this is also stemming from Sky Sports. So that is the latest news on him. But there's been a lot of midfielders on our agenda anyway. And, Jadon Sancho, I was talking with you about Jadon Sancho yesterday on my video that I did. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho scored a hat-trick yesterday in Borussia Dortmund's 6-1 win against Paderborn. Obviously, that was the first start he made in the Bundesliga, Sancho, since the Bundesliga returned. Don't forget, he also paid tribute to George Floyd. I think Jadon Sancho got booked for his celebration and that. Now, don't forget, Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation, because they have said that they do want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, we're trying to find ways to fund this £100 million move for Sancho, because it did mention last week that we was set to discuss with Borussia Dortmund loans and swap deals. Now, there was reports coming out last week, this was stemming from Mundo Deportivo, saying that we was willing to offer Alexis Sanchez to Borussia Dortmund as a swap deal for Jadon Sancho. Like I did say to you, I was very sceptical that swap deal was going to materialise. Obviously, reflecting on Alexis Sanchez's substantial wages at Manchester United and that. By the way, positivity has recently come out regarding Alexis Sanchez. Because obviously, this was stemming from Sky Sports yesterday, and they said that Inter Milan want to extend Alexis Sanchez's loan, and obviously, Inter Milan have confirmed that Sanchez will stay until the end of the season. Now, Sanchez, of course, did join Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer, on a 10-month loan last summer. Obviously, he's endured a difficult time at Inter Milan. He's seldom played, to be honest with you, because I think he's had an injury or two. Despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. I still believe we're paying him like 300 grand a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000 a week. By the way, Inter Milan have got no option to buy Alexis Sanchez at the end of the loan. His loan at Inter Milan expires on the 30th of June, so it expires his loan at the end of this month and that. But if Sanchez is to be impressive, maybe Inter Milan could consider getting him permanently. But, we don't want Sanchez back at Manchester United because he endured a difficult 18 months with us. In his 18 months with us, he's managed 45 appearances in all competitions and only scored 5 goals. I think Sanchez has still got a contract with us until 2022 and that. And obviously, Sanchez failed to rediscover the form at Man United and that of what he produced in his 3.5, 4 years with Arsenal. He also failed to rediscover, what he did at Barcelona under Pep Guardiola when he was younger and that. But yeah, like I mentioned, revert back to what I said, that swap deal will not materialise. I think there was also reports coming out the other week as well, saying that Jadon Sancho's move to Man United depends on Manchester City having their 2-year European ban upheld. City got banned from Europe for 2 years for breaking financial fair play rules and that. So there you go. But yeah, Dortmund remain ruthless over their valuation. It did say Dortmund will wait until the transfer market stabilises, before they do consider selling Jadon Sancho. Now, there hasn't only been my club, Man United, that have been in for Sancho. There's been quite a few other clubs that have been in for him. Chelsea have been in for him. Liverpool have been in for him. Real Madrid have been in for him. And also too, Barcelona have been in for him. But I think Sancho's already revealed that his preferred option is a move to Manchester United. And I've outlined a few reasons, why I take Jadon Sancho at Man United is because he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. He's well proven in the Premier League and he would dramatically improve us. Jadon Sancho is now into his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. And like I said, since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation. I think Dortmund have tried to convince him to extend his contract, but I don't think he's got any intentions of extending his contract. And reports from Germany did mention the other day that Jadon Sancho does want to leave Borussia Dortmund. But he has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Dortmund only paid £8 million for him from Man City. So they're looking to make a huge profit on the player. But Jadon Sancho's valuation has persistently grown. Analysing his performances in the few years he has been with Dortmund and that. Like I said before, Jadon Sancho was at Dortmund, he was at Man City, endured a few years at Man City, but he left Man City because he didn't get any first team opportunities. And before he was at Manchester City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years with Sancho. But we first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017, and this was, of course, under the Jose Mourinho era. Don't forget, we said we're already willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7 because he'd fulfill that number 7 role very, very well, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. And like I've said to Dortmund are known as a selling football club. They have sold quite a few of their players to the Premier League in recent years. They got rid of the likes of Aubameyang a few years ago, Christian Pulisic, Shinji Kagawa, Ilkwan Gundogan, Mkhitaryan. There's also players that they've let go who didn't go to the Premier League and that, Borussia Dortmund. But, there again, they have recruited quite a few players in recent years. They got Haaland in January. They got Emre Can. They got Julian Brandt. They also got Thorgan Hazard. So they have, recruited quite a few players in of Borussia Dortmund. But we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for quite some time. And we've also been in negotiations with his agent, like Fabrizio Romano did reveal earlier on in the season. Jadon Sancho's predominantly a right winner. And, he is only at the age of 20 in that. So I still think we're confident, we can get a deal over the line for him. Sancho's just recovered from his calf injury, by the way, and that's why he did start yesterday. The Bundesliga have played 4 games since the Bundesliga returned. Obviously, Dortmund won their first game against Schalke 4-0. They won the second game against Wolfsburg 2-0. They lost the third game to Bayern Munich 1-0. And of course, they won yesterday against Paderborn 6-1. But Dortmund, Sancho got benched in the first 3 games, since the Bundesliga returned and that, because like I said, he has had a calf injury. So hopefully, we can still get a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho. You had David Einstein coming out the other week, who is a very credible journalist, and he even said that there's a very high chance that Sancho will join Man United in the summer transfer window, and we still remain the favourites to sign him. And I think Dortmund have come to accept the fact that he does actually want to leave, so they've had a few players on their agenda who could replace him. Chelsea, of course, still looking at getting, but if they don't get him, they're looking at alternatives to Jadon Sancho. But him coming back to the Premier League, it will be very, very beneficial for his career. It really, really will, and that. But like the Borussia Dortmund managing director said quite a few weeks ago now, that he expects players' transfer valuations to drop in the summer due to the coronavirus crisis. But yeah, we did say we was not willing to smash our transfer record for him. It said around 2 or 3 weeks ago we was only willing to pay 60 or 70 million for Jadon Sancho. So yeah, so if we're to get Sancho, say we'll have to pay 100 million for him, and we get Kai Havertz 50 million, that would be 150 million pounds on 2 players from the Bundesliga. But maybe 50 million pounds isn't going to be enough to convince Leverkusen to offload him. Unless it is, I don't know. But anyway, that is the latest news on them. Now, I just want to delve into some news on Ighalo. Now, his current loan deal at the football club has now expired. Of course, it expired yesterday. There was a lot of reports coming out yesterday saying that Manchester United have agreed to extend Ighalo's loan for a further 7 months. So that will keep him at the football club until January 2021. Now, don't forget, Ighalo's already revealed that he wants to remain at the football club. Also, too, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker said, he wants to keep Ighalo at the football club. Now, we had Ighalo's agent last week. He actually said that Ighalo was close to agreeing a contract extension. Obviously, Shanghai Shenhua did say that they will allow Ighalo to extend his loan at Man United till January, providing that he does sign this 2-year deal worth £400,000 a week, because this is what Shanghai Shenhua have offered him. And he even did say that Ighalo was willing to risk a 75 million contract with Shanghai Shenhua to remain at Manchester United at least until the end of the season. And obviously, Shanghai Shenhua have said that, they'll allow him to remain on loan as well if there's an obligation to buy included in the deal. Shanghai Shenhua have said they do want around £20 million to let Ighalo go permanently. They want 20 million. Maybe, we've got reservations about paying £20 million to get Ighalo permanently. Like I said, we got him in on loan on January deadline day. We paid around £4 million to get him on loan. And I think at the moment we are paying like a third of his wages. I think Ighalo's contract with Shanghai Shenhua runs until 2022. That's his current deal at the moment. Like I said, Ighalo's been a good cover-up to Rashford, and he was in good form before the football season got suspended, because Ighalo has got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. But yeah, so these what were coming out yesterday, but now the Sun have actually reported saying that Man United have not agreed to extend Ighalo's loan, and that, and no agreement has been reached, with Shanghai Shenhua. And like I said, we have been locked in negotiations with Shanghai Shenhua and that. But like I said to you anyway, there has been a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda. But which striker will Manchester United sign in the summer transfer window? And that is the question. Which striker will we sign in the summer transfer window? So yeah, so that's the news on Ighalo. I give you the news, didn't I, on Sal Niguez yesterday from Atletico Madrid. I give you the news on him. This was in a few media outlets, and it did say that Sal Niguez had posted a tweet saying that he will announce his new club in the next 3 days. Now, this has put a lot of Manchester United fans into meltdown. I think a lot of Man United fans have had their own theory of what Sal Niguez had come out and said yesterday. So now, reportedly, he's going to announce his club within the next few days. So obviously, it's 2 days now, because yesterday said he's going to announce his new club within the next 3 days. Now, you had reports from the Spanish press coming out the other week saying that Sal Niguez to Manchester United is practically done, and confirmation is expected at the end of the season. And it says reportedly we're going to get Sal Niguez for around £70 million. That figure is around half of Sal Niguez's release clause, because Sal Niguez has got a release clause of around, is it 134 or 135 million or something like that. Atletico Madrid did say a while back, if they were to sell Sal Niguez, they would demand his release clause to be triggered, but due to the financial issues and that, Atletico Madrid will have to accept around £70 million for Sal Niguez. Now don't forget it mentioned that we'd scouted Sal Niguez in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League before the football season got suspended. It also mentioned that we was willing to offer him nearly £200,000 a week. Sal Niguez's current wages at the moment at Atletico Madrid are like £115,000 a week. I think it also mentioned in October last year that Barcelona had reached an agreement with Atletico Madrid to get Sal Niguez for 15 million. But obviously, Barcelona did not take the first option. So this is, why it didn't materialise. Obviously, Sal Niguez has got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. So still got a good 5.5, 6 years remaining on his contract. Because back in 2017, Sal Niguez had signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. And this is when his release clause came into the equation. And obviously, I think this has been his 12th season now with Atletico Madrid, and he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He's actually spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. Sal Niguez can play as a holding midfielder, and he can also play as a box-to-box midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly centre-half, yeah. And he is in his mid-20s, is Sal Niguez. Like I said, Atletico Madrid have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget they lost Rodri last year to City, they lost Griezmann last summer. They also lost Diego Godin, they lost Raul Jimenez, was it around 6 years ago? So they have lost quite a few of their imperative players. So yeah, so that's the news on Sal Niguez and that. And we're actually seeing Sal Niguez as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Like I said, you already know the news on Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, of course, is another one of our priority targets. Jack Grealish, he's another one of our priority targets. So these so many players on our agenda and that. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. Obviously, Solskjaer said that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window, because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. We want to challenge for the title next season, because this has been the seventh season that we failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. And analysing it at the moment, City is strides ahead of us and Liverpool is strides ahead of us, and we do want to get to Man City and Liverpool's level. And obviously, Solskjaer's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. And Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, because Ed Woodward has said quite a few occasions throughout the course of this season that he's willing to back Solskjaer, and he has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. Probably Ed Woodward does believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a foreseeable future for Manchester United. Like I said though, we've been very, very critical of Ed Woodward. For several years we've been critical of him, and this season we've been very, very critical of him. Obviously, of how the football club's been run for several years. Obviously, of how poor our recruitment policy's been, poor selection of managers, overpaying for players and that. So this is why Ed Woodward's been criticised. You've had the Glazers, they've revealed their stance on Solskjaer, and they're also willing to back him. But we've also been very, very critical of the Glazers. You know, the Glazers have been at Man United 15 years now. They've been here 15 years of the Glazers. And obviously, don't forget, the Glazers have got no intentions of selling the football club. No intentions, because it did reveal last year that they'd actually held talks with the Saudi Arabians and that. But, we've been very, very critical of Solskjaer this season, for the vast majority of this season. But a lot of Manchester United fans, have been very, very critical of him. But like I said, he does deserve at least another season at the club. And he does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows, because it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period, and of course, he's still in the process of rebuilding. Like I said before, the football season got suspended. We was in a good vein of form, because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and Solskjaer will be under pressure to keep this good run of form up, when the football season does resume. And like I said, Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked earlier on in the season. And at that point, there was talks of, Pochettino coming in. Pochettino, was linked with the Manchester United job, before Solskjaer got the job permanently at Man United in March last year. Like I said, there was talks of Massimiliano Allegri also coming in. But I'm not too sure if Solskjaer's a foreseeable future, but I think, like I've mentioned, we need to give him at least another season at the club, and that. Yes, we do. And like I've said, I've seen improvements under Solskjaer. I think, there's players that have definitely improved under Solskjaer. I think, we've definitely improved in the transfer markets under Solskjaer. Because what I mean is, I think with Solskjaer's got the players that I wanted in. Also, too, we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. Like I've mentioned before, these players over the years and that, who we came close to signing, in reality, we should have signed them. So that's disappointing, Prime example, it was a shame that we didn't sign Erling Haaland in January, because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. But, Solskjaer has recruited 5 players in so far since he came to Man United. And they've done well of the 5 players that I recommended in. And he's spent over £200 million on them. Obviously, he's made 4 permanent signings. He got Ighalo on loan. Last summer, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And of course, in January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. And I've got to say, the signing of Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. Because, like I mentioned, Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team and that. So the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window in total as Manchester United manager, So, yeah, does need a bit more time. And, Solskjaer's been at Manchester United now almost a year and a half, including the 3 months when he was the interim manager. Solskjaer got the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that, And like I said, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think we have seen a total of 19 players leave Man United, since Solskjaer came in. Around 9 senior players left and around 10 young players left as well. And he's still deadwood at the football club, as Solskjaer's, planning to get rid of more of the deadwood in the summer transfer window. If we can get rid of players in the summer transfer window, we're going to generate money that way, which is obviously, very, very good. And I've got an idea of the players that Solskjaer's going to get rid of in the summer transfer window. I think we're going to get rid of Phil Jones. We're going to get rid of Chris Smalling and Marcus Rojo on permanent transfers. Delors, Barcelona and PSG are keen on him, but I think we're determined to keep Delors. His appearances have been limited because he's had a few injuries, but Delors is our backup to Wan-Bissaka. There's still a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future. Sanchez, we'll probably loan him back out for next season, or could possibly, get rid of him permanently. That would totally free up our wage bill if we could get rid of him permanently. I think James Garner's going to be going out on loan. James Garner's going to be going out on loan. Tahith Chong, he'll probably stay, but his appearances have been limited at the club. He's found game time difficult, so maybe we should loan Tahith Chong out to gain a bit more experience. Angel Gomez, we've got to make a decision on his future, because his current contract expires at the end of this month. It did reveal last week that we'd put a final contract offer in for Angel Gomez, and we'd offered him around 1.5 million a year for him to stay at Manchester United. Whether this is going to be enough or not to convince him to stay, I do not know. So yeah, there's definitely no players that are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window and that. So there you go. And like I said to you, the Premier League season is resuming on the 17th of June, which is just under 3 weeks away. Well, so to say, just over 2 weeks away. Obviously, the Premier League season is going to be finishing on the 25th of July. Like I said, there's things we've got to look forward to. Obviously, we're chasing that top four. We're sitting fifth in the Premier League at the moment. We are 3 points behind Chelsea. I'm very convinced that we can get Champions League qualification for next season. Dates for the FA Cup have been announced, as you already know. The quarterfinals are on the 27th and the 28th of June. The semi-finals are on the 18th and the 19th of June. And the final is on the 1st of August. And the FA Cup is a priority for us because it's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. Don't forget, we are into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. The European games are going to be played in August. We are into the last 8 of the Europa League. And the Europa League is also a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. So if we could win both of them, or if we could win at least one of them, it would be a memorable first full season for Solsjaker. It really, really would, because we've not won anything yet in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson's retirement, and that was the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal era, and the Europa League and the League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era. And Jose Mourinho won them trophies in his first season at Manchester United and that. So, these things, we've got to look forward to. But, the Premier League has been suspended for around 10 weeks now. It has been suspended since the 13th of March. The last game we played was our 5-0 win against Lask. Obviously, it was played behind closed doors. And Solskjaer did say, reflecting on that 5-0 win against Lask, he said Man United will be able to play behind closed doors. There's 9 games remaining in the Premier League season and 92 games to play in all competitions and that. And don't forget, it confirmed last week that Man United have taken a £140 million loan from the £150 million revolving credit facility. The main explanations is to help us through the coronavirus crisis and to fund moves in the summer transfer window, because we want to get the right calibre players in the summer transfer window. So we have, taken a £140 million loan. So Solskjaer may have at least £100 million budget in the summer transfer window and that. I think we could make maybe 1 or 2 signings in the summer transfer window, but I don't think we'll make 3 or 4, and that I really, really don't. I really, really don't and that. And obviously, our debts had risen up by almost 130 million. Our net debt now is 429.1 million, like Ed Woodward had confirmed the other week on the conference call with the investors. Like I said, the coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million. Ed Woodward did say last month, that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. And he actually, ruled out big transfers to Manchester United. This is what, Ed Woodward had done. But yeah, let's see who Manchester United can sign in the summer transfer window. Let's see, who we can sign in that. Like I said, we have got a fully fit squad as well for when the season resumes. Obviously, we've got Marcus Rashford now, that's back from his back injury. We've also got Paul Pogba now, that's recovered from his ankle injury. So it's very, very good that we've got a fully fit squad. Like I said, there's not only decisions we've got to make before the season resumes, there's decisions we've got to make ahead of next season. Who's going to be our first choice left back next season? Is it going to be Luke Shaw? Are we going to stick with Luke Shaw? Is he going to remain our first choice left back, or is Brandon Williams going to be our first choice left back? We've already made the goalkeeping decision. David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. So that means probably Dean Henderson will be loaned back out. We've already confirmed that we will allow Dean Henderson to remain on loan at Sheffield United for the remainder of the season. Maybe we won't get rid of Dean Henderson permanently, because obviously we see him as a long-term replacement for De Gea. Like I said, we've got to, make a decision on Angel Gomez's future. Got to know what's happening with Diego Dalot. We've got to know what's happening with Pogba. I expect Pogba to stay at Manchester United, I really, really do, for next season, but I'm not sure about the foreseeable future. But there's still rumours coming out saying that Paul Pogba could leave Manchester United. I'll give you the news yesterday. It said we missed out on the chance to re-sign Paul Pogba back in 2013 under David Moyes. We missed out on getting him because David Moyes was looking, obviously, to get Cesc Fabregas in instead of re-signing Paul Pogba. By the way, we believe that Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, is the only one that wants Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United, and that, like I mentioned. Don't forget, like updated you a couple of days ago, it did say that we are open to swapping Pogba for Adrian Rabiot in the summer transfer window, and these stories were stemming from the Italian press, but swap deals have been high on the agenda and that. So you already know the news on Paul Pogba. The news on him. So there's decisions, that Manchester United have got to definitely make. Martial will stay in the number 9 role. He'll keep playing centrally. Rashford will go out wide because Rashford seems to be more effective from that wide position and that. So there you go. And like I said, Solsjaker is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. 3 managers have gone. Moyes got sacked after 9 months. Louis van Gaal got sacked after 2 years. And Jose Mourinho got sacked after 2.5 years. In the last 6 or 7 years, though, we've been playing catch-up. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We've spent close to the £1 billion range on players. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era and that. So let's just put that into the equation. But like I said, the vast majority of our success came under Alex Ferguson. Won a total of 38 major honours under Ferguson. Alex Ferguson endured 26 years, was it, at Manchester United. But he was close to getting sacked at one point because, don't forget, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Obviously, before Ferguson, we had Ron Atkinson, weren't so good under him. We had Wolf McGuinness. He endured 18 months at the club, only managed to recruit 1 player in. Franco Farrell, we actually got relegated under Franco Farrell's guidance, and that was back in 1974 and that. So if Ferguson had been sacked after that 4 years not winning anything, wouldn't have hardly had any success, to be quite honest with you. But I want it to work out under Solskjaer, I really, really do. I do. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.